Hello, testing, testing. Can people even hear me? I see my mic spiking in OBS, so I think it's fine. I should be popping in any moment. Bam, there I am. Hello, good morning, or afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hello. Okay, I'm trying something a little different today. We're going to be trying some Chrome extensions related to LeetCode. So I have two prepared. One is called Elden Leetcode. Apparently it makes Elden Ring sound effects and visuals when you submit or run code. One is ELeet, which is popping up down here. Apparently it uses a LLM to simulate a interview scenario, and then it will rate how you did the LeetCode problem. And then the other one is not really a LeetCode specific extension. It basically allows you to draw over your Chrome window. So I'm trying this as an alternative to Sumo Paint, so I'm gonna see how it goes. Let me readjust my screen a bit. Maybe I'll put this down here. And this window over here. Yeah, okay. Sick, okay. So first problem, we're gonna try the, the house robber question. Okay, LeetCode 198 house robber. You are a professional robber planning to rob houses along a street. Wait, maybe I should just turn on. Let's try ELeet. Yeah? Time limit, 30 minutes. Difficulty. Wait, why is there a difficulty level? This problem is set as medium, right? Let's do medium. Start interview.
Welcome. Let's walk through a problem together. You need to determine the maximum amount of money you can rob from a series of houses, where robbing two adjacent houses triggers an alert. In your own words...
Wait, go on. Wait.
Please explain your...
Oh, okay. I can't talk while it's talking.
Understood? Whenever you're ready, please continue with your thoughts.
Wait, I didn't understand. You just stopped talking. Can you explain again what I'm supposed to do? Do I just have to do the problem and explain it as I do it?
Yes, that's correct. You should work through the problem, explaining your thought process as you go. Start by describing how you would approach finding the maximum money that can be robbed from the list of houses. Please proceed when you're ready.
Oh, I see. Okay. Let me read the problem. You're a professional robber planning to rob houses along a street. Each house has a certain amount of money stashed. The only constraint stopping you from robbing each of them is that adjacent houses have security systems connected, and it will automatically contact the police if two adjacent houses were broken into on the same night. Given an integer array nums representing the amount of money of each house, return the maximum amount of money you can rob tonight without alerting the police. Am I allowed to close this window, like minimize it? Is it going to start over? Okay, it's safe. Okay.
Great.
Oh.
Whenever you're ready, please share your thoughts on how you would approach solving this problem.
Okay, I'm going to do this recursively with memoization. So I think the plan is to... what is my plan? Maybe start from left to right, index 0 all the way to the end. So I guess my recursive calls would kind of be like this. Wait, let me get out my my new Chrome extension, this thing.
Take your time to gather your tools. Let me know when you're ready to discuss your recursive approach.
Dang, this bot is smart. Smarter than Betty. Okay. Okay, so this is my recursive call, I guess. I'm going to go from left to right, from index 0 all the way to the end. At each index, there is two choices I can make. One is I can use the current house. I can rob the current house.
That's a
I
good
guess-
observation.
Mm-hmm. Dang, this bot is actually really smart. Wait, let me think about this some more.
Of
So many
course.
Chrome extensions. Okay, so maybe we start off with like, let's say the function is f, right? And we're given nums. Oh my gosh, this brush is too bright. Let's say we start off with function f of, we're given nums, right? Nums. Holy, I cannot write. I think we have to track I, which is our current index that we're on, the current house that we're on. And then for each house, let's say we're on house number 0. We have two options. One is we rob the current house, so 1 plus, and then f of nums is the same, and then you do I plus 1. No, I plus 2, because you're skipping the next house. You can't rob the adjacent house. That's one of your options. Else you do f of nums is the same, and you do I plus 1, because you can rob the adjacent house. So I guess I represents the best haul you can get, starting from the ith house. I guess that's what... Yeah, go ahead.
It sounds like you're on the right track with your recursive function. Just to clarify, you're considering the two choices at each house. Either rob it and skip the next one, or skip it and move to the next. This will help you recursively explore the possibilities. What are you thinking of for...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Based on your approach, you'll need to ensure that you handle the base cases for your recursion as well, specifically for scenarios where you reach the end of the list. Once you outline that, we can also discuss how to implement memoization to avoid recalculating values. What would be your base case?
Yeah, my base case would be if I is out of bounds, then return 0, because if I have no more houses to rob, starting at the non-existent house, then I would have max 0 money, right? Yeah, if I is out of bounds, return 0.
Correct. Returning 0 when you've checked beyond the last house is a solid base case. How do you plan to implement this recursive function with the memoization aspect?
Oh my gosh, this bot is actually so smart. I want to do caching. So I'm going to pass in a additional field into the helper function called maybe cache, and it's going to be a array. And each array... Yeah, each index is going to represent the best haul starting from that index. So I guess I'll have an additional base case that's like, okay, does my cache have a solution at this index? If it doesn't, continue. And then if I actually have an answer, you just put in, well, eventually when you figure out the solution, you do cache I is equal to the result, and then you store that.
That's exactly right. By checking the cache first, you'll save time on previous computations. Can you summarize how your final recursive function with memoization will look, including the steps involved?
Yeah, so the function will start off with a base case that checks if I is out of bounds. If I is out of bounds, then you return 0. Then you check your cache. If your cache does not contain your bogus value, whatever, you would return the cache, whatever the cache stores in index I, and then you would do your recursive calls. Your two options are rob the current house, so use its current monetary value plus recursive call with I plus 2, because you can't rob the adjacent house. And then your next choice is I plus a recursive function called with I plus 1, because you can start robbing with the adjacent house. And then you would return the max of these two options.
That's a well-structured summary of your approach. Now, how would you implement this logic in code? Please go ahead and start writing the function.
Wow, this bot is so smart. Okay. I'm actually very impressed. Holy.
I'm glad to hear that. Please proceed with your code implementation when you're ready.
Okay. So I'm gonna duplicate this. Wait, can you even see what I'm writing? Is the bot that smart?
Feel free to share your code when you're ready, and we can discuss it further.
Okay. Wait, how much time do I have? 20 minutes left. Okay. So first off is the base case. So, oh wait, I have to add an additional field here. So int I. So int if I is greater than or equal to nums.length, then return 0.
Correct. That sets your base case properly. Please continue.
Okay, and then the recursive cases are, I'm just going to call this variable int useMe is equal to recursive call, so helper, wait. So the current value nums I plus helper, nums is the same, you do I plus 2 because you can't rob adjacent houses. The max haul you can have from not robbing the current house. Let's say no use me is equal to nums. Wait, no, there's no monetary value from the current house. So you just call helper nums I. And then you return math.max of use me or no use me. I guess me is the house. I'm personifying myself as the house. Do you think that's weird?
Not at all. It's a creative way to think about the problem. Please continue with your code.
Okay. Okay. And then in the... This bot is actually really smart. I'm really surprised. Okay. And then in the main function, we'll make a call to our helper function with nums starting at index 0. I'm gonna make an initial test run of this. Oh,
sounds good.
Return. Man, you need to learn to be quiet sometimes. I'm literally just typing my code.
Understood. Take your time with coding, and let me know if you have any questions as you progress.
Man, that's actually kind of mean. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I is greater than or equal to nums. Oh, greater than? Greater than or equal to? Wait. Nums I plus 2. What? Why? How are we getting index out of bounds?
It sounds like there might be an issue with how you're checking the bounds for your recursive calls. Make sure your base case correctly handles the scenario when the index exceeds the length of the nums array. Could you double check that?
It's nums comma I plus 1. Okay, what if I run it now?
Go ahead and test it. Let me know the outcome.
Hey, let's go. Okay, it's accepted. If I submit, then I'll probably get time limit exceeded because I haven't memoized yet. Oh.
That's a
Let's go. Submission rejected. Wait, I feel like we couldn't see it properly. Appearance dark mode. Let's try submitting again.
Understood. Please go ahead and submit it.
Submission rejected. Okay, it's time for some memoization.
That makes sense.
We need a cache.
Correct. Integrate the cache.
Oh, wait, what am I doing? It's integrate cache, and then new base case underneath here, which is if cache I is not equal to -1, then you return cache I.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I'll save my intermediate result here. Int result is equal to that, and then you return the result, and then even before that, you have to save the result in the cache. So cache I is equal to result. Oh, hi Raj. Hello, how you doing? You want to see something funny, Raj? Submit.
Please do.
Submission rejected. Dark Soul style.
It seems like there might still be an issue. Would you like to go over your code or any specific error messages you're encountering?
I actually know exactly what's wrong. I just submitted on purpose. Okay, so I need to actually use the cache and initialize the cache. So
Good
int
catch.
cache. Wait, what am I doing?
Right.
Raj says, is this an extension? Yeah, it's an extension called Elden. It's called Elden Leetcode. It makes it more fun, I think. I don't know. I think it's pretty funny.
It sounds like a fun extension. If you're ready to refocus on your code and implement the cache,
The agent that's currently talking right now is also a extension I'm testing. It's called ELeet. I think it's pretty smart for the most part, but it sometimes talks when it's not supposed to talk. Like, it sometimes interrupts me, I feel like, when I'm talking. So in that case, I don't really like it, but otherwise it feels really smart. Like, it knows exactly what I'm talking about. Which is, like, verbally. I'm not even showing it any code, I think. So I think that's pretty good. Anyways, time for caching. So I feel pressure to have to talk consistently too, because otherwise if I don't talk, it'll try to talk again and it'll interrupt me. So that's kind of the downside of it so far. But yeah, anyways, caching, here I come. Cache is equal to new int nums.length. Raj says it's cool. Ooh, I agree, it is pretty cool. I think the Elden Ring one's really funny. The extension down here is like really smart. It's like it knows when to, like, it can decide when to start talking for itself too, which is cool. But sometimes it talks too much, and I feel like it's like interrupting me. Like right now, if I just pause, it's gonna start talking.
I understand how that can be a bit frustrating. If you have
And yeah, when I'm laughing too or just reacting to what it says, it just stops talking. And I think it keeps talking behind the scenes, so I don't actually hear what it wants to say, which is kind of annoying. Otherwise, it's pretty cool though.
It sounds like you have some interesting experiences with the extension. If you want to focus back...
See, when I laugh, it stops talking, and then it like continues talking silently, so I don't end up hearing what it says. Yeah, I guess that's my one quip about it so far. It's kind of stressful to talk with. Yeah.
I can see how that would be a bit challenging. If you'd like to shift back to discussing your code or any other topic, just let me know.
Is it possible for you to be quiet for like 5 minutes?
I can remain silent while you focus on your code or any other task. Just let me know when you're ready to continue the conversation.
Ooh, okay. Let's see how you do with that task. Okay, so arrays.fill cache with just negative ones, which is our bogus value. We pass in the cache here. I'm gonna pass in the cache into the helper functions down here too. And I think that should be it, actually. I'm gonna run this entire thing. Okay, cool. Let's submit it. Hey, you said you'll be quiet for 5 minutes.
Understood. Please
hey,
proceed.
submission accepted. All right, we solved it, boy.
Great job on solving the problem. If you have any more questions or want to discuss anything else, feel free to let me know.
I think I'm done with this interview.
The interview is now over. Please click End Interview to receive feedback.
Oh wait, I just realized I was like pretty rude to it. I was pretty rude to it during the interview. Is it gonna hold that against me?
No worries, it's all part of the process. Your focus and engagement were evident.
Okay, so it's currently preparing an interview feedback. Overall quality score out of 10, 6 out of 10. The candidate did demonstrate a solid understanding of. Fortune guy says, hey, hello, how you doing? Yo, Fortune, you wanna see something funny? If I submit this broken code, look what happens. Submission rejected. I don't know, I think it's so funny. It's like Elden Ring style. Also, I have this other agent here that's rating my code and my interview quality. The candidate did demonstrate a solid understanding of and approach to solving the problem, but often got sidetracked discussing a Chrome extension they were using. No! This resulted in the overall interview quality being lower than it could have been due to the storytelling aspect taking precedence over problem solving. Gosh darn it. It is judging me, but I'm streaming right now. Okay. Strengths. The candidate clearly understood the problem and found an effective solution. The candidate described their thought process and reasoning well when they were focused on the problem. They were able to identify mistakes in their own code and correct them, demonstrating technical accuracy. Areas for improvement. The candidate should ensure they stay focused on the problem rather than discussing tangential topics. No! It's because I'm trying to stream at the same time as this mock interview. This would make the technical aspect of the interview clear. The candidate committed to using recursion with memoization early in the interview, but didn't begin implementing the actual memoization until near the end. What? Isn't this normal? You would want to check if the... Like, it's perfectly okay to want to check if your recursion is even working right before you memorize. Bro, I had 12 minutes left during this 30-minute interview. I was good on time, okay? Didn't begin implementing the actual memoization until near the end. Improving planning and structuring of their code could assist you. I disagree. I had 12 minutes left. I had like almost half the time left. Communication. Unfortunately, I guess the extension hates you all. Gosh darn it. Here, let me have a little swig of happiness by just submitting this. Sorry, this is very funny to me. Okay, while generally the candidate was able to express their ideas well, there were moments when their conversation was not relevant to the interview and therefore could have been avoided. Cool, so I got a 6 out of 10. Dang, even though I solved the problem like 12 minutes, like with almost half the time remaining. Alright. How would I rate these Chrome extensions? I think Elden Leetcode is fantastic, 10 out of 10. Like, even if I get a question wrong initially, it makes me laugh, which makes me less stressed, which is good. 10 out of 10. It's very funny. ELeet over here. You know what? It gave me a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10 back. So it's surprisingly really smart in listening at what you're trying to say. Like, it understood exactly the coding concepts that I was trying to tell it, which I was really impressed by. However, it talks too much. It interrupts me way too much. Maybe it's because I'm streaming right now too. And when I tell it to be quiet for 5 minutes, it doesn't do that. It just continues talking whenever it gets the chance. Also, when it tries speaking, I think it listens to me a bit too much. Like when I laugh or make any sort of sound, it just stops talking. And then I feel like it continues talking silently behind the scenes. So then when it finally decides to talk again, it already ran through a lot of dialogue and I actually don't get to hear what it's saying. So yeah, but the actual like listening to me coding is really impressive. So I give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, very impressive tech. Awful at conversations. And it actually did not hold me accountable for being rude to it. I told it to be quiet. I think if I told my actual interviewer, like in a real interview, to be quiet, I would automatically get like pretty like probably get rejected immediately for being this rude. Yeah, I guess if you were to use this normally, you wouldn't be talking about meta things like Chrome extension, how this is a Chrome extension, and reviewing other Chrome extensions at the same time. So I guess that's kind of me. Oh, this other thing that I was reviewing, this thing that lets you draw on, let me change the color. This thing that lets you draw on your Chrome window is really, really good. I think I would give it 9 out of 10. The only thing that I don't like is that you can't Control Z. Like if I press Control Z over here, it does literally nothing. I have to press undo up here. Yeah, Fortuna says, oh, by the way, I had a old Friday Night Funkin' mod on GB. I just found out, lol. On Game Banana? Ooh, is that what you just sent me? I think you just sent me on Discord. I heard a ping. Yep, you just sent me something, huh? Hi, Yorokonde, but I Hoshino sings it. Who sung Hi Yorokonde in the beginning? Oh, interesting. So in the game, she sings Hi Yorokonde. Ooh, interesting. I don't know what song is Hi Yorokonde. But dang, you've been putting out a lot of mods. It's pretty impressive. Okay, shall we move on to the next question? Let's do decode ways, maybe? Decode ways. Okay, decode ways. Ooh. Is this gonna take me... I might have to go soon, but we might be able to just, you know, talk through the problem for now and then implement it next time on stream. You know what? I'm gonna turn on this ELeet extension again, the one that did the mock interview with an LLM. That was pretty... I did medium difficulty last time. Maybe let's do hard. How does hard work?
Welcome. Let's walk through a problem together. You need to decode a string of numbers into letters based on the mapping from 1 to A.
Oh, see ya on Sunday roasting, Fortuner. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and it just stopped talking again. This is what I don't like about it.
It seems there might be a misunderstanding or confusion in our conversation. Let's focus back on the problem. How would you like to approach decoding the string of numbers according to the provided mapping? What are your initial thoughts on solving it?
Okay, let me read the problem first. I don't even understand the problem currently. So, LeetCode 91, decode ways. You have intercepted a secret message encoded as a string of numbers. The message is decoded via the following mapping. 1 is A, 2 is B, and so on. 25 is Y, 26 is Z. However, while decoding the message, you realize that there are many different ways you can decode the message because some codes are contained in other codes. 2 and 5 versus 2, 5. That is true. For example, 11106 can be decoded into AAJF with grouping that, or KJF with grouping this. Okay. The grouping 11106 is invalid because 06 is not a valid code. Only 6 is valid. Note there may be strings that are impossible to decode. Given a string S containing only digits, return the number of ways to decode it. If the entire string cannot be decoded in any valid way, return 0. The test cases are generated so that the answer fits in a 32-bit integer. Okay.
Now that you understand the problem,
Go on. Hello, go on.
it seems there may have been a miscommunication. Shall we proceed with the problem? What are your thoughts on how to approach decoding the string based on the mappings provided?
Ooh, okay. Let me think about this for a moment. So the goal is to return the number of ways to decode, not the actual permutations to decode the string, huh? Should we iterate from left to right again? 06?
Yes, you correct. The decoding focus should indeed be on the valid sequences as you traverse the string from left to right. What do you think would be important considerations while iterating through the string?
Okay, I think whenever we see maybe a 1 or 2, there's a possibility that we can sort of make a branch off. So whenever we see a 1 or 2, we have 2 choices, right? We can either branch off and use my current digit and the next digit as one whole number, or we can keep the current digit as one single digit and then move on, assuming that's the case. I'm trying to think about how I would track this in a function signature.
That's a solid way to approach it. You're right in thinking about branching off at each step. How do you envision structuring your function? What parameters will it take, and how do you plan to keep track of the count of decoding ways?
That is a interesting question. Okay, so 11106, that's the example that's given here. Okay, wait, which example should I do here? I want to pick a good example. 1106. Sure, I'll do 1106. So if I have 1106, we'll start off with maybe like f of, ooh, this is terrible handwriting. F of, what are we given? The digit? Input S, okay. So we're given S. So maybe the helper function will contain an S. And what should we track? We definitely need to track our current index. Do we need to track our previous? Yeah, maybe we need to track our previous digit if we're like, saving it to use as if we're saving it to build a 2-digit number. Maybe we can do, Fortune says, what's the music in the background? Oh, it's just some random procedural piano music that I made. What do you think about it? It's kind of repetitive, right? But I kind of like how I guess chill it sounds sometimes. Yeah, maybe I'll do a previous character here. Yeah.
That sounds like a good...
Fortune says, good, not gonna lie. Thank you. Has a vibe. Oh, thank you. Were you gonna roast it if I said it wasn't mine? It's pretty good for my standards, right? As someone who doesn't dabble with music that much. Oh, also I just realized this bot is gonna dock me points for going off topic again. No. You're not gonna dock me points for going off topic, right? It's a really important conversation I'm having right now, ELeet. Fortuner is my boss. He's very important.
Let's keep our focus on the decoding problem. Your thought
She's gonna
process
dock me
about
points. He's totally gonna dock me points. Okay, so here's my plan. I think if I is at the end. Actually, let's worry about the recursive cases first. I'm trying to think. So if we can, I guess if the current number, oh my gosh, this bot needs to learn to shut up a little. I'm currently trying to talk out how I'm gonna do this. So if the current digit is equal to like 1 or 2,
yes,
then you can call f of whole like s with maybe I plus 1 and the previous equal to the 1 or 2. Yeah,
that makes sense. What would you do next if the current digit is not equal to 1 or 2?
so you could always have this case down here where you have an s. Just realize this s up here looks like a 5, so I'm gonna rewrite it. Oop.
That's a good idea. Take your time.
And then we'll also do I plus 1 or 2. We'll probably do like some bogus value like -1 or something over here.
Got it. Using a placeholder for the previous digit is a helpful approach. How do you want to handle the base case for your recursive function?
The base case is probably if I is out of bounds. Then that means we found one way to reach the end, right? So if I is out of bounds.
That works. Would you like to define what happens when the index goes out of bounds?
Then you probably return 1 because that's one way to, you've found one way to reach the end, right?
Exactly. That's a good way to define it. What about other conditions, such as when the digit at the current index is 0? How do you want to handle that?
Oh, that's a good question. What if the digit at the current thing is 0? Oh. Wait, that's really interesting actually. So if the current digit is 0, then the letters mappings don't begin at 0, right? So it begins at 1. So my only choices are to make a 10 or a 20. Ooh, okay. So I have to make sure that my previous is a 1 or a 2. Ooh, that's tricky. Okay. Okay, so I probably need to find some early exit conditions. So if my current digit is a 0 and my previous is not equal to a 1 or a 0, then I can return 0 because I haven't found a way to build letters, right? That this is totally not a way. This is like a undefined way.
That sounds right. You'll need to handle the 0 case carefully to ensure valid decodings. What's your plan for implementing the recursive calls in the function?
So if my previous is a 1 or 2, actually, is that the right decision? Sure, let's run with it. If the current digit is a 1 or 2, like I wrote here, we can do f is like the recursive helper function s, comma, I plus 1, go to the next index, comma, and then oh wait, I meant if the current digit is a 1 or 2, then you do the recursive helper function with s, comma, I plus 1, and then you set 1 or 2 as your previous.
Yes.
And you continue to recurse. Oh, I think I forgot to handle the case where I actually have to handle the previous thing over here. How do I... Ooh, how do I do that? So I can only do these two cases here.
You have the
Yeah.
right idea.
These two cases here. If I don't have a previous, right? No previous? Oh, and there's other cases if I have a previous number. Oh, shizzle.
It's okay. Take your time. What are you thinking about handling previous digits in those cases?
Okay, so the previous cases, if I do have a previous, I have to make sure that the number that I'm forming is within bounds. Like it's less than or equal to 26. So number is less than or equal to 26. That means I can continue, right? Yeah, I can continue. So I can just call f of s and then I plus 1, which means off to the next digit. And then my previous is just a bogus value like -1. And then else, yeah, else I just return 0 immediately, right? Because this is not a way to reach the end. Yeah, that should be my cases, right?
Yes, that seems complete. Would you like to summarize how you plan to implement the function or code it?
Yeah, so this is my recursive plan. I'm gonna have a helper function that takes in s, the index, and the previous digit if we're trying to make a two-part digit. So the base case is if I is out of bounds, then return 1, because that means we've found a way to the end. We found a way to map all the numbers to letters. We reached the end. There's two sort of branches of recursive cases, two sections of recursive cases. So if we don't have a previous number already in the recursive call, if the current digit is 1 or 2, then we could have a chance of making this a 2-digit number. So then we call f of s comma I plus 1, and we input the 1 or 2 as the previous digit. And then we could also call f of s comma I plus 1 and put our bogus value as the previous number because we're not using any previous digit. And then we sum these up, right? Yeah, we sum these up because we're trying to find the total number of ways. The second branch of recursive calls is if we have a previous digit. So if the current digit combined with the previous digit forms a number that's less than 26, that means we can continue. So f of s comma I plus 1 comma bogus previous value. Else you return 0 because it's kind of, if it's 27, 28, so on, that means it doesn't map to it doesn't map to any digit. Wait, actually I'm trying to think, is this the right way to do it? If we see that it's greater, it would be greater than 26, could we just make the previous number a single digit? That seems more complicated though. Although I think we do handle it over here. Yeah, we do handle over here. This case over here. This case handles if s, or if the current digit becomes a lone number, right? By itself. Yeah. So we don't have to handle over here. It will be handled in the previous recursive frame. And then, yeah, else if the two-part digit is greater than 26, then you return 0 because that's not a way to get to the end. I think we might have to do some memorization too. We'll have a maybe 2D array cache where the row stores I, the column stores the 1 or 2 as the previous thing. Yeah. And then we'll pass in this cache throughout. We'll initialize the cache to bogus value of -1. And then I think that's our solution.
That sounds like a well thought out plan. Would you like to start translating this plan into code?
Yeah, for sure. Let me code this up. I just want to see the Elden Ring failure screen. I'm probably not going to implement this today. I don't have time. Submission rejected. I love this Chrome extension so much. Okay, also I'm curious, can I just lie to this extension? Can I just say I'm done? It can't actually read when I'm typing, can it? Oh my gosh, I just implemented everything and the base test cases pass, the submission passes too. Oh my gosh, I'm done.
That's great to hear. It sounds like you've made significant progress. Would you like to discuss any specific part of the implementation or any challenges you faced while coding?
Yeah, my hands are so sore from typing this great solution. I think I might have arthritis by now.
It's important to take breaks while coding to avoid strain. If there's anything specific you want to review or ask about your solution, feel free.
Okay, not really actually. I think the submission worked. Everything works. So I have no questions. I'm at 100%. My solution's runtime beats 100% of all users on LeetCode. And also, in case you were wondering why I was talking about Chrome extensions and talking to other people during this test, it was actually really important. If I didn't, I was gonna get fired from my current job, so I hope you take that into consideration when giving me my score. I was not going off topic. Well, I kind of was, but it was completely necessary, so I think it's completely excusable what I did, and you should not take off points from me doing it.
I appreciate your honesty and the context you've provided. It's important to manage priorities. If you feel your solution is strong and well implemented, that's what matters most in this context. The interview is now over. Please click End Interview to receive feedback.
Oh boy. No! 4 out of 10. The candidate has shown some understanding of the problem-solving process, but communication was largely chaotic, with several deviations from the topic. No! You promised. What? You promised you wouldn't take off points. Although some aspects of the solution were discussed, the actual coding process was not carried out. No! It found out. No. The candidate's strategy to solve the problem using a recursive helper function and memory caching is quite sound. The candidate was good at brainstorming and verbalizing their thinking process. The candidate showed good problem understanding and identified critical edge cases, such as handling zeros in the input and ensuring decoded numbers not exceeding 26. Areas for improvement: need significant improvement in their professional communication. They frequently deviated from the topic and engaged in unrelated conversations. No, I'm never going to get a 10 out of 10 when I'm doing this on stream, aren't I? Which made it difficult to follow their thought process. The candidate asserted completion of the task without demonstrating the implementation, which makes it hard to assess their technical competency accurately. The candidate should work on maintaining focus and remaining on topic to ensure effective and efficient problem solving. Cool, okay. Alright, well, should I give a final rating of all of these extensions? Let me just submit this thing again. I still think it's so funny. Okay, so Elden Leetcode gets a 10 out of 10. It's so funny to me. Even at my lowest points, it gives me laughter. What is the extension called again? paint tool for Chrome. Yeah, paint tool for Chrome gets a 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. I really like it. I think the only thing it could improve is that the undo button should be mapped to Control Z. It's kind of inconvenient that I have to come up here to disable it. Yeah, maybe I think it could set shortcuts actually. I just wish that it came out of the box, the shortcuts. Like if I press Control Z, it kind of does nothing right now. I also wish that the way to hide it again is to just press the extension over here. It was kind of unintuitive at first to look for the eye icon over here. Like I would assume that the same button that toggles it on would be the same button that toggles it off, you know? Otherwise, it's pretty good. I guess also from a UI thing, I wish that whenever I toggled it off, it would switch back to not pencil mode. Like it would give me back control with the cursor, but I have to toggle it manually over here from cursor, pen, cursor, pen. Yeah. Okay, and then this extension here, ELeet, I would give it 6 out of 10. It's actually kind of stressful to use sometimes because I know if I stop talking, it will try to interrupt me. So to prevent that, I kind of have to force myself to keep talking without any pauses. And yeah, it's maybe its conversational capabilities could be a bit better. It keeps trying to interrupt me while I explain what I'm doing. Also, it keeps saying I go off topic though. I think that's partially my fault because I'm interacting with the chat and rating other Chrome extensions. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Its ability to listen to me and understand what I'm saying is really impressive though. I'm like, I did not excuse me, I did not expect it to be this good. So that's the thing that's carrying the 6 out of 10. Otherwise, it's pretty stressful to use. And I'm actually not sure if it can tell what I'm writing or not. I wasn't able to gaslight it to giving me more points for, well, I wasn't able to gaslight it into thinking I actually implemented it, even though I did not implement anything. Yeah. All right, well, those are all the Chrome extensions today. I'm gonna solve this problem next time, decode ways. Hopefully, I actually got the pseudocode right, or my plan was right. I can't tell this LLM was actually just kissing my butt, or it actually or if my plan was actually right. Hi BN, hello. How's it going? Do you want to see something funny? I'm just showing this to everyone who comes. Let me get rid of. I just solved decode ways. Oh no way. Was it hard? You want to see something funny, by the way? If I just submit like an incorrect piece of code. Submission rejected. Wait, should I show you my... I love this Elden Ring extension so much. Oh. Wait, can I ask, is this how you did it? Did you do it the recursive way with memoization? Oh boy, sorry, excuse my horrible handwriting, but how I thought about it was I would have a helper function with a new field that stores the index and the previous digit. This is if I'm trying to make a double-digit number. You can simulate it with recursion first. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So my base case is if I is out of bounds, return 1 because you found one way to decode. So I split the recursive calls up into two sort of sections. One is if I have a previous digit that I'm using. Yeah, I'm using two variables. So my two recursive sort of sections are if I have a previous and no previous. So if I do have a previous digit, if the previous digit is a... Oh, this is the... if I don't have a previous. So if my current digit is a 1 or 2, then I can make a recursive call with s, I plus 1, and input 1 or 2 as my previous digit. Or I can do f of s, comma, I plus 1, comma, negative 1. Negative 1 is kind of my bogus value for a previous if I don't have a previous. And then I add these two results together. Else, if I do have a previous value, if my previous plus the current digit forms a digit that's in bounds, that's less than 26, then I can do f of s, comma, I plus 1, we're moving on, with previous equals to negative 1 bogus value. Else, if my two-digit number is not like in bounds, is not between 1 and 26, then I return 0 because this is not a way to decode the string. Is that how you did it? I think this kind of makes sense in my head. Yeah, sorry for the bad handwriting, by the way. I wrote this with a mouse. IBN says it's current plus 1 digits, and current plus 2 digits is possible if current plus 1 digit and current plus 2 digits if possible. Is that not what I'm doing? So I guess you're talking about if I don't have a previous case. Current plus 1 digits and current plus 2 digits if possible. So this is where I'm forming my 2-digit number, and this is if I'm forming my 1-digit number. And then I have a whole other case for, processing if we have a previous digit, which we're trying to form a 2-digit number with. Is this different from what you did? Sorry, I love this extension way too much. IBN says wait. But yeah, I'm probably not going to implement this today. I'm just drawing it out, and then I'm gonna actually code it out next time. Are there any hints on the bottom here? Nope, no hints. I can see discussions though. You asked for it, now you have it. This is, I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. I just got F by 0 is really hard. Oh wait, yeah. My other base case is if so if the current digit is 0 and my previous is not equal to 1 or 0, wait, this is wrong. If my previous is not equal to 1 or 2, then return 0 because 0 cannot be by itself. Yeah, that's the solution I'm thinking of currently. Any thoughts, IBN? Is IBN even still here? I actually cannot see my view count. Is anyone even still here? Alright, I have no idea if IBN is still here. Well, this is my plan for next time then. And ELeet has said that it's an okay implementation, so I do have some confirmation there. Alright, well, this is pretty fun. Yeah, I enjoyed reviewing the Chrome extensions today. I think I'm gonna go for now. It's kind of late in my time zone too. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Thanks Fortuner, thanks IBN. Thank you everyone. Bye. See y'all next time.